What's going on YouTube? It is Texans Takeover back with another video, and in today's video, man, you see that score right there, it explains itself. Texans win, they beat the Steelers in the wild card game, we're headed to the divisional game. This is my game review, basically talking about all things that happened in the game and what my opinions are on them. Texans win 30-6, and the scoreline looks very convincing, but let me tell you, this game was, what was it? I believe a 7-6 game going into the fourth quarter. Um, and then just completely blew open as soon as we scored a field goal, and then Sheldon Rankins kicked us off defensively with a touchdown. Defense and offense scored the same amount of points in this game, if that says anything to you. So there is that. But I mean, yeah, great game. So proud of this team for just willing themselves through this game, even though it wasn't pretty. CJ wasn't on it. Um, Still win by 24 with CJ's probably worst game of his career. So there is that. I'm hype. Let's just keep this thing rolling into the divisional. So starting off in this video, we're talking about this defense. You can see here, these are the overlaying stats. 2 touchdowns. The big one was Sheldon Rankins to make this game 17-6. So Texans score early in the game with Christian Kirk to make it a 7-3 ball game. And then at 7-6, Texans then kick a field goal early in the fourth quarter, late in the third quarter to make it a 10-6 ball game. And then Will Anderson gets to Aaron Rodgers, strips the ball out. Sheldon Rankins able to recover, and then strolls into the end zone basically to make it 17-6. Other than that, you had Kalen Bullock get an interception, returned it for a touchdown to get us to our 30. Kaimi missed the extra point. It was kind of bizarre. It went under the crossbar, which I don't think I've ever seen, but that did happen. But yeah, the thing I'm highlighting here is the tackles for loss. Steelers couldn't get anything going in the run game. They couldn't get the short passes. Jalen Petrie was everywhere. In my opinion, he's probably the player of the game. Just everywhere, making tackles. Even if it wasn't a tackle for loss, it was only a 2-yard gain. Not letting them get that rack that they usually rely on, and that's what their offense dominates with. So just very important that we stop them, and that's the thing I was highlighting before the game was if we don't let them get those rack yardage, which I didn't expect us to, which is why I had my prediction of 30-10, which almost came to fruition. I was 4 points away, but close enough. But yeah, if we were able to not let them get that rack yardage, able to just tackle them in the backfield, get Aaron Rodgers down quickly to the point where they had to try to attack downfield, I think that's where we had this ball game, and we were just able to dominate from there. Team tackled great, flowed to the ball beautifully, didn't allow big receptions after the catch. The only one I can think of was that opening drive when DK had that screen that went for about like 16. But other than that, no big rack yardage plays. They did have some decent plays in there, like Adam Thielen for I think it was like 21 yards or so. But um, it's not a rack yardage play. It's them designing a play where DK runs a streak to take the safety out of the play. Kamari Lassiter has to drop back as well, and then Adam Thielen's just open on that crosser right below. So that's a 21-yard gain, but you're not letting these screens or any of these dip and dunks really get to you, which was, I believe, probably D'Amico's point of emphasis throughout this week. And it really highlighted in this game because we were tackling tremendously and just flowing to the ball. Henry To'oTo'o was great in coverage. Azeez was great in coverage. Jalen Petrie, again, my player of the game. But Derek Stingley locked down the entire side of the field. Same with Kamari Lassiter. I don't think they allowed a reception each. So yeah, just great game altogether by the defense there. And they truly won us this game because it was 7-6 going into the fourth quarter. So that field goal that I'm talking about did come in the fourth quarter. But yeah, tremendous game by the defense. Moving on though, I think overall we were the better team. I say the offense had a lackluster day, but then they were still able to put up 400 total yards. We only had 9 drives, and you can see we averaged 6 yards per play. We were better on rushing. Or in the run game than we ever have been this year. Woody Marks went over 100 yards for the first time this year. The only other player to do that this year was Jawar Jordan in that game against the Cardinals. And he was hurt this game, so he wasn't our RB2. It was Nick Chubb who ran the ball tremendously. Had one drive where he was just churning his legs, and the Steelers weren't able to stop him. Woody Marks just great. I think went for around 115. Had a touchdown to pretty much seal the game off, score our third touchdown of the game, second offensive touchdown to get us 24 points to make it 24-6. Basically out of reach because at that point it's a 3 possession game rather than a 2. But you can see 21 first downs compared to the Steelers' 13, so 8 extended possessions compared, or in comparison to the Steelers. 10 for 15 on third down. The offense was great on third down. And, I want to talk about CJ. Didn't have a great game, but on third down, he was delivering, especially to Christian Kirk. A couple big plays to Christian Kirk there on third down. So, even though CJ didn't have his best game, hopefully that turnover demon's gone from him so we can move on to the divisional. Him have a clear head and know that this team has his back because, our third down play was great. Nick Caley was great calling plays all game. Some formations, some run formations that I haven't seen at all this year that were put on display, and just worked tremendously. So credit to Nick Caley for that. I thought he called probably his best game of the season, besides maybe the Cardinals game, or even the Chargers game in the first quarter. Um, Pretty lackluster in terms of, or pretty poor in terms of the field flea flicker, excuse me. But I think it was the right play call. Jaden Higgins was open. It was a free touchdown. Just weren't able to connect. And that's the risk you take. Woody didn't have the flip down right, and that's the risk you take. But um, called a great game altogether. 66 total plays, dominated the time of possession. I think we had it for 35 minutes compared to the Steelers 25, so 10 extra minutes with the ball compared to them. Um, 230 more total yards, 2 less drives, but 3 more yards per play, which is absolutely absurd. So the offense was on it. You can see every two plays they were averaging a first down basically, and 21 first downs and 9 total drives means they're averaging over uh, two two first downs a drive at the very least. So in a game where it's 7-6 going into the fourth quarter, you can see that offense was playing the field position game brilliantly at the very least. But yeah, I think we were the better team in this game overall, and it really showed in that fourth quarter where we know we're so dominant in. Moving on though, CJ's got to be better. Um, 250, which doesn't look all that bad, especially 21 for 32, not the worst completion percentage, not the worst QBR or rating at all. The box score looks good. 250 for 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Interception came at a bad time. We were in the red zone moving the ball, and he just got happy feet, tried to give it to Xavier Hutchinson, and missed the throw when he could have just tucked it and ran. Just very turnover prone in this game. You can see 5 fumbles. 3 were not his fault, or I'll give him 2 that aren't his fault. Jake Andrews with 1 bad snap and then 1 snap when CJ just wasn't expecting it. One CJ just truly lost, and then 2 others. It was the flea flicker that he lost, and then one that he just scrambled around, looked like a maniac, and lost the ball. Just a very turnover prone game for Stroud. He's got to be better. He knows he has to be better, but at the same time, that box score does not look bad. Quarterbacked us through the game. Turnover demons hopefully off his back now. And we live, we learn, we grow, and we move on. Because 250 yards in a playoff game is pretty instrumental. Something that he wasn't even averaging this season. So there's that. He's got to be better in terms of not turning the ball over, but we know that's one of his best attributes. So if he eliminates that, I think he had a good game other than the turnovers, in my opinion. Delivering the ball down the field, had 3 huge completions down the field. Could have had 4 to Jalen Noel to put us up 10-6 going into halftime, but Jalen Noel dropped it. But was orchestrating good drives, great on third down. You could see that 10 for 15 on third down. CJ was a big part in that. He was great on third down. Just gotta eliminate the turnovers. In my opinion, this was probably the worst game of his career, and he still put up 250 and a touchdown in it. So there's that. Got to be better moving forward, but I'm not going to take too much criticism because it was just a turnover-prone game. It wasn't like he was missing throws. The only throw you can really say he missed was to Nico Collins, and I think Nico still should have brought that down, in my opinion. But CJ does have to point the ball a little more just horizontal so it goes straight to Nico rather than over his head and sails with the wind. But yeah, I don't think he was bad. I just think it was a very turnover-prone game that could have been eliminated. Without him getting happy feet, he just didn't look comfortable. And I think that led him to try to be a hero when he didn't need to be the hero. He just needed to manage the game. So I think pressure got to him a little bit. Just had happy feet, and again, was turnover-prone. But at the same time, even on one of those fumbles that he recovered, he was able to throw it out of bounds and then convert on third down, throw to Christian Kirk, and then orchestrate a 92-yard drive where we ran the ball tremendously on that drive. So, turn negative plays into just a no gain, which is a net positive in my opinion. If you're about to lose 10, 11 yards and you're able to get it back to the line of scrimmage, always take that. CJ was able to do that in some moments, in some others he just had to sit on it. But yeah, happy feet turning the ball over. Think they definitely could have been eliminated, and he's got to be better moving against the Patriots because this offense that we're going up against is great. Not saying that I don't think their offense is better than our defense is, but you can't keep giving them chances because at one point they will be able to find us downfield somewhere, or make a drive out of nothing. And Drake May's a great quarterback, so CJ can't turn the ball over in this next game. Don't know if the Patriots are going to have Christian Gonzalez. Don't know if the Texans are going to have Nico Collins. That's yet to be seen. But yeah, CJ's got to be better. I don't think he was awful. I just think he was very turnover prone. Moving on though, Christian Kirk breakout game, easy. Leading targets, leading receiver, leading in receiving yards, the most receiving yards in a playoff game in Texans history. Had one for 46, had one for 33, had one for 36 as well. And then some intermediate catches in there too to accumulate to 144. Averaged 18 a catch. Had a touchdown there, the first touchdown of the game. CJ Stroud to Christian Kirk. Tremendous. Best player on the field offensively easily. I think Woody Marks is a second, but yeah, Christian Kirk far and away his best game of his Texans career. Only had like 300 yards in the regular season, and then comes out, puts up a 150 burger in the opening game of the playoffs. So hopefully he can do this against the Patriots, because again, we don't know if we'll have Nico Collins, so likely going to be Higgins, Hutchinson, Kirk, and then Knoll in the rotation as well. But big miss with Nico Collins. If Christian Kirk is able to fulfill this role in that slot receiver, of just being that go-to guy that CJ can depend on with Dalton Schultz, I think that's a huge weapon to consider throughout this playoff push. If Christian Kirk is able to not even replicate this performance, give me half of this. Give me 70 yards, and you don't have to score. You can give me a touchdown if you'd like to, but you don't even have to score. Give me 70 yards on 5 receptions, and I'll take that every day of the week out of Christian Kirk. That means we're moving the ball. CJ's finding him, and then potentially finding Dalton Schultz somewhere down the field as well. And when you have weapons, that usually means that good things are happening. So Christian Kirk, great game. Can't give him enough praise. Breaks the Texans franchise record in the playoffs for receiving yards in a single game. And long may that continue throughout this playoff push as we go to Foxborough. Yeah, the story of the game was this fourth quarter. You can see early on in the fourth quarter we score a field goal, fumble return for a touchdown by the Texans, a punt by the Steelers after 6 plays, touchdown, 87-yard drive, takes 6 minutes off the clock, just really takes the life out of the Steelers. This is the play where Christian Kirk had this was the 33-yard reception, excuse me, not the 46 that he had, but big touchdown. Woody Marks just ices the game, goes over 100 yards on this drive, takes away 6 minutes of the clock in the fourth quarter. You can see how much time we took away in the fourth quarter here. Accumulates to about 9 minutes if I can find my mouse somewhere. 3.5 minutes there, 6 minutes there. We'll give it 9 minutes and 15 seconds roughly. So 9 minutes and a quarter taken out of the fourth quarter, meaning the Steelers have about 5 minutes and 3/4 to go do something, and they just didn't. You can see interception return for a touchdown by Kalen Bullock, fumble return for a touchdown by Sheldon Rankins. Game finished here. Mason Rudolph got put in the game. The backups for the Texans got put in the game, got to get a little bit of a run. Punt here, they weren't able to do anything in the fourth quarter. We just absolutely dominated them. And we move on to the divisional, taking on Drake May, the Patriots, Hunter Henry, Ramondre Stevenson, Travion Henderson. Defense potentially without Christian Gonzalez. Texans potentially without Nico Collins. So you can take that as a wash if you like. I think that's a huge boost for the Texans, in my opinion, because I think CJ is allowed to rely on other options, but the Patriots don't have another true lockdown corner other than Christian Gonzalez who can take away an entire side of the field. So maybe it's advantage Texans. They're both in concussion protocol. Hopefully Nico's back this week, and we'll see the health of both of them. Prayers up for both of them. You never like concussions. You never like head injuries, but Texans are on to the divisional. Play the Patriots in Foxborough on Sunday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, 3:30 p.m. or 3 p.m. excuse me, Eastern time on ESPN. So you get Joe Buck and Troy Aikman again, who I thought weren't too bad in the game. Usually I don't like Joe Buck, but that's more Astros than Texans. Um, yeah, this defense is going against the high-powered New England offense. It's going to be a great game, good watch, and we'll see what happens. Certainly excited for this one because if we win, it'll be our first AFC Championship game in franchise history. And who knows? It could be a home game against the Bills if they do end up beating the Broncos on Saturday. But yeah, we're on to the divisional. Play the Patriots. Watch out for Nico Collins. See his health throughout the week. See Christian Gonzalez' health throughout the week as well. And yeah, as always, thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please be sure to like, subscribe. And as always, it's Texans Takeover, and I'm out. Peace. Go Texans. What a win. I'll see y'all later.